Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is going to be HD with Game 2 between July Zerg and SlayerS.MMA in IPL 3 qualifiers. This is qualifier online qualifier number 3. Did I just say qualifier twice? I totally did. Sorry guys, but this is going to be Game 2 of this series, and we do have MMA as the red Terran in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't even know if there's a point to bringing up that name board, actually, now that I think about it, so we'll just take it away. So MMA is going to be the Terran in the bottom, and of course July Zerg going to be the blue Zerg at the top right-hand corner. Both these guys, very popular in Starcraft 2. Their fan base is just massive. Excuse me, I have someone calling me right now. I don't know why they're calling me, but didn't they know I'm casting for you guys? God, this is such an important part of my life. I can't take this away for picking up a phone call. Anyways, yes, we do have July Zerg at the top right and MMA at the bottom left here of, what is this map? Zelnaga Caverns here. So, actually, this is not the best map for July Zerg. I'm really surprised that July Zerg picked this after losing on game 1. I honestly feel like this is a map where Terran players can definitely excel at. There are a lot of closed off areas where Zerg players do not like it, especially in this, choked off area right here. Having said that though, Zerg players definitely enjoy the open area, but the problem really comes when the Terran players establishes a PF location at this gold area, and the Zerg really can't do too much about that. So we'll have to see if July Zerg has an answer for that. And I have to feel like he picked this map because he wants to all-in MMA again. This is certainly a good map to all-in the Terran player, since it just has such a close rush distance. But it looks like MMA is going to be going for a Makarax here. Second barracks on the way down. Makarax, of course, being named after Maka Prime, who basically, it's just a 2 barracks opening with the hidden barracks on the outside of the base. Although, MMA's barracks here is pretty close to being detected. Oh, July Zerg, is he going to see it? He is going to see the barracks. That's pretty big. And now July Zerg totally knows what's going on. That drone went in there, took a whiff, sees the 2 barracks, wagging its tail back and forth right there, and it's going to go back and report to his master that he spotted 2 barracks. I spy with my lonely eye 2 barracks coming up. So July Zerg should be pretty prepared for this. He did 15 hatch, so his number of lings are going to be limited because his pool is a little bit later, but since he did scout that out, it is possible to hold off 2 barracks pressure with your Zerglings after the late pool. He does have 2 drones on the field as well, which I kind of like. This is going to prevent the bunker from going out for a little bit of time, now pulling off additional drones off the line as well. The bunker going up is absolutely crucial to be prevented. And we'll see if MMA is going to be able to land that down. Just 1 Marine, 1 SCV here. Going to start attacking the front. Still no bunker being placed down yet for MMA. MMA is very good with his Marine micro, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is his claim to fame, and we'll have to see if July Zerg is going to be able to hold off the aggression with that scouting knowledge to his repertoire. But it looks like MMA isn't going to push the subject any further. In fact, he is taking a little bit of his sweet time right now, and July Zerg has been able to push across the map with a couple of lings here, which may force a pullback from MMA. And yes, MMA is going to fall back. So July Zerg, with this very well-played Ling move out, actually buys himself a lot of time. He may end up getting a Marine kill here. Nice split of the Lings. He doesn't even lose. Oh, I was going to say he doesn't even lose a single Ling. I take it back. But that's so cost-effective. 121 Marine for 1 Zergling. Take that any day. So it looks like July Zerg here gets a free Marine kill. Very well done right there. Buys himself time against the 2 barracks pressure as well. And if anything, July Zerg setting himself up really nicely for the mid game, and of course still open to the possibility of that Roach Baneling all-in, which I'm sure MMA is very concerned about. In fact, this time around he is switching up his build just a little bit. Rather than going 2 barracks command center or opening up a fast command center like he did on Crevasse and going right into factory starport, he is opening him 4 barracks. So if the Roachling all-in were to come, he will not have those weak Hellions versus Roaches. He will have a bunch of Marines, and Marines in large enough numbers can deal with Roaches pretty easily. So I kind of like where MMA is going with this. I think he's much more protected against the Roachling all-in. Having said that though, on this map he will have a more difficult time holding on the natural because there's such a wide open natural and so much surface area for July Zerg to attack. And speaking of that, July Zerg poking through the front once again. If the SCV, or if the drone was the little doggy chihuahua with its tail wagging behind its legs, and I guess the Ling would be like the terrier or something. I don't know why I'm going in with my canine jokes right now. But July Zerg is going into lair tech right now. He is going to have another extractor coming down. Oh, a couple of Lings engaging the Marines in the middle of the map. He finds a lone Marine, picks it off, loses 2 Zerglings. Even trade right there. He may be able to get in through the front door, though. And oh, that Marine just barely prevented from running in there. Gets a couple of Lings inside to do some scouting. And that's actually pretty huge for July Zerg. If he can get a little bit of scout off, that is very important. He sees 4 barracks, 2 command centers, pretty standard, gets the factory timing as well, knows everything that's coming, and in fact, MMA making a push here with a lot of Marines. July Zerg doesn't have a Baneling nest yet, so he just has pure Lings. Is he gonna have enough Lings? Finds a couple of Marines in the middle, actually finds all the Marines in the middle. Is he gonna have enough Lings to break this? So the Queens are in hot pursuit, but it looks like there are enough Marines to push that away, and we just have a little bit of tug and war action in the middle of Xel'Naga Caverns. More Lings running in. This is going to be a little bit of a close one. It's going to come down to micro. MMA, very good stutter step control right here. Is July Zerg going to have enough Lings to break through? No, he is not. And look at the carnage laid down right there by those Lings and Marines. A lot of blood seeping through the ground. And MMA pulls back. July Zerg also pulls back. Both players just trading left and right. I honestly feel like in a trade situation, the Zerg player always kind of comes out on top. Their macro is so much faster. And not only that, you just never want to deal... The bigger a Terran or Protoss army becomes for Zerg, the harder it really becomes to deal with. So anytime you trade off, I feel like it definitely goes in the Zerg's favor if they, quote-unquote, seemingly trade evenly, which those battles have all kind of been. But July Zerg here has a lot of Lings in the bottom right now. It looks like he's using the secret hallway here before the supply depots get up. And oh, that second supply depot is on the way up right now. So I guess MMA is secure from the back door. July Zerg's opening there was lost. And both players going up to a very standard game at this point, which has me scratching my head a little bit because I was kind of expecting to see some more high octane action. Last game was 91 octane. This game I thought was going to be 93, but it seems like we kind of stepped back on the gas premium a little bit, went down to 87 or 89. Although Mutalisks are now on the way for July Zerg, so that could change in a jiffy. And July Zerg going with what seems to be Muta Baneling here, and Muta Baneling, the strategy I use predominantly in Zerg versus Terran, very powerful indeed. So we'll just have to see how this works out for July Zerg. 2 dropships on the way to the bottom right. They are going to go around the map here. This is not the best map for dropping. You guys have to remember, because there's so much lacking of open space around the main, and not that much dead airspace around the side of the map for the dropships to maneuver. Although July Zerg's Overlord placement less than stellar on the south of his main, so it looks like a couple of Marines are dropping off. Quite a few Marines, in fact. They are going to pre-stim and get in here and do a lot of damage, unless July Zerg's paying attention, which it looks like he just barely saw those Marines out of the corner of his eye. Literally out of the corner of that Overlord's eye, and he is going to engage. MMA a little late on his stim, going to lose everything here, and July Zerg comes up huge in that engagement. He will pick off both dropships as well, and that is a devastating blow for the Terran army. Great play right there by July Zerg. So very interesting Zerg versus Terran so far, Zerg versus Terran series, in fact. And I know, guys, a lot of viewers out there are like, HD, you're always casting ZVTs, man. I know, guys, I kind of do cast a lot of ZVTs. What can I say? It's my matchup of choice. I do like casting all the other matchups in the game too, but all the greatest games for me, at least that come to me, seem to be ZVTs. So I don't know, maybe just me. But of course, I will be casting lots of other races as well. But July Zerg is going to come into the bottom right here, finds an opening with the, or at least is going to kill off the supply depots, and that is going to open the possibility of Lings to run around the backside if July Zerg chooses. And we'll have to see if MMA decides to replant that wall down. He does save the supply depot, uses a stim to do so. And MMA now also building his 3rd command center, so he's about to go to 3 bases. He's going to have plenty of macro on his side. He's also got the armory coming down as well, realizing that mutas are a threat. And anytime a Terran player begins to integrate the Thor into their mixture of marine tank, it forces a Zerg player to go into magic box mode, which essentially means you can't snipe tanks with your clumped up group of Mutalisks. So it actually becomes a lot harder for the Zerg player to deal with the biomech ball. They have to be a lot more careful with those Mutalisks. So once the Thor starts to walk on the field, once the Thor walks the earth, July Zerg's gonna have to be a little bit more careful. But we do have Lings and Banelings engaging some Marines around the side of the map. MMA choosing to make a stand here. He could load up onto the high ground, which it looks like he's gonna do. But meanwhile, a dropship here getting intercepted by July Zerg. July Zerg has been so on point with his Mutalisks and intercepting dropships. And once again, I feel like that kind of relays back to the fact that this map, it just isn't that great of a map for dropping when it comes to TVP or TVZ, simply because it's a very small map, not a lot of airspace around the back of the bases for dropships to kind of harass and abuse. So it's very easy for Zerg players to intercept those drops. Any Zerg just needs a couple of overlords around the map, and it's very easily done. Anyways, so July Zerg is coming in here for an opening snipe here, but MMA is so in tune with this game, realizing the kind of trajectory those Mutalisks were on, knows that this is an opening for July Zerg, and builds up a turret and sends 8 or so Marines down there as well. So very well timed. July Zerg here coming in with a big attack force. So, oh my god, he actually moves out while the tanks were unsieged, and oh, he just catches MMA in the middle of the map. MMA is gonna lose all of his tanks, and oh my god, this could be all she wrote. MMA is loaded up in 3 bunkers, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough. July Zerg is just crashing his way through the front door right now. Lings are inside the main. Mutalisks are just destroying everything at the natural, and it doesn't look like MMA is gonna be able to rebuild in time, and July Zerg could take a quick 1-1 tie to this series. Wow, July Zerg, just his game sense is impeccable. He just knows as a Zerg player when to attack, and that's just astonishing to me. I mean, look at this, he's just destroying MMA right now. MMA stored just a little bit too late to the party, and at this point, July Zerg doesn't even have to be careful with his Mutalisks anymore because he's just got so many. Look at all the SCVs that just went down at the natural, and MMA GG's. Oh my goodness. Wow. That, you know, it's such good timing from a Zerg player. I mean, how often do you see a Zerg on 3 bases decide, you know what, now's a good time to attack a Terran player on 2 base? It's so insane. It's almost genius. In fact, for July Zerg, it probably is genius. But, you know, attacking a Terran player, when you have, usually the time to attack a Terran is after you've traded army versus army. Then you go in and you attack him. But attacking him before a big battle even happens and just hoping that his tanks are all unsieged, July Zerg is a genius, man. He had to know something right there. I wonder if he saw those siege tanks unsiege, or did he just have such a game sense that he knew when those tanks were going to move out? I really am. I am just so amazed by his play. I think he might have seen it with that Zergling at the watchtower. I think that's what gave it away. Wow, July Zerg is just a boss. So the killer instinct right there going to July Zerg. He gets a killer instinct MVP award, and he is going to tie up this series 1-1. Stay tuned, guys, because we're going to have game 2 or game 3 of this series coming up right after this.